Jai Shri Mataji.
Jai Shri Mataji, Sushmita.
It's a pleasure to greet you from a different part of England, this time from Cornwall, near Land's End, near Senan, and to talk to you, Madhu Kapoor Aunty and Brijesh Kapoor Uncle, all the way in Delhi. So the temperatures
Thank you.
couldn't be more different, but thank you for making it for
No, no.
this interview. Please share your Sahaja journey with us. When was it that you got your realization and where were you? What were you doing? And I believe both of you got the realization at some point together, or was it one before the other?
Jai Shri Mataji, thank you, Sushmita, for calling us for this priceless, interview, which is so precious, because I've seen some of your earlier episodes, and since you asked us, I will now just give you a little brief, and then my husband will tell you more about it.
Thank
So
you.
I
Yes.
was we were in Lucknow. Actually, we belong to Lucknow, but we are visiting in Delhi. And when the time came for our realization, I suppose that is the time. I was in Banaras. My husband was in Lucknow.
Ji.
And my childhood friend, Dr. Vinita Shankar, she's married to Dr. Rajiv Kumar. So she came to Lucknow, and she came to meet my mother after a very long time, and she talked about whatever she felt, about Sahaja Yoga. I wasn't there, but
Which year
my
is this?
husband. This was the year 1991, roughly the same time in summer,
Areva.
So 1991, and I
Hanji.
was teaching in Banaras at that time. So I was supposed to come 2 days later. So my husband came, and then he dropped her back. So when I came 2 days later to Lucknow, I sort of met her again, and again at my mother's house. And then she mentioned something about Sahaja Yoga, of course. And then she said something about that my husband's right heart was, giving a catch. So I said, "What is all this?" Then she told me a little more about Sahaja Yoga. And I was intrigued because I had just done my MPhil, my research from Calcutta University. I had come across the Gnostic Gospels and, those kinds of things. They leave a trail. So I was intrigued by all that because in literature, there's a lot of evidence about, the left side, the right side, and the Greeks talk
Yes.
about it. So
Yes.
I said, my God, she's my childhood friend and she's talking about it. So returning on the way back, in the rickshaw, we were talking. And mind you, the summer heat of Lucknow, we were talking
If I
on
may
our way
ask,
back.
if I may ask, where was this rickshaw in Lucknow? Because Lucknow, as you know, is our connection. It's a dear
Yes,
place.
yes, yes.
Papa, Mummy,
So
both.
yes,
Hanji.
your parents are there, right? So you'll be able to place it when I say we were in the rickshaw from Nirala Nagar to Mahanagar and going to
Arre
Indira
वाह.
Nagar, because
Yes.
that's where we were living. So on the
Hanji.
way, she dropped down at Mahanagar where her parents were living, and I came home to Indira Nagar. And it was decided between us that she will tell my husband about Sahaja Yoga.
Acha.
I will not. Okay. So,
Yes.
so, uh, so none of us had taken realization at that point. You see, it was just mere, getting to know about Sahaja Yoga, the first instance. So he came home from office, and the custom was in our house to prepare a tea with sumptuous tea or something like that. And while all this was going on, I said, "Guess I met Vinita, and guess whom she was talking of." So now I'll ask him to continue.
Okay.
Ah,
It was just like that
Hanji.
in when you talk in that manner. So she was saying, you guess who is her guru? And then I said, I don't know anything about gurus. So I never, and in reality also, I never bothered about this Gurudom and all.
Yes.
Uh, I only went, if somewhere I went just to
The
uh,
temples, like
temples and all
Tuesday
those.
and all that.
So
Yes.
then he said, no, 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 you just guess. So it came out just from my mouth, Mrs.
Hanji.
Mrs.
He
Srivastav.
took Shri Mataji's personal name, Nirmala Srivastav. And
Wow.
I jumped in. I said, how come you took her name? I said,
My
ये तो
question
वक,
too.
yeah, I
हाँ,
said, ये तो वक और बाच की देवी बोल रही हैं तुम्हारे मुंह से.
बिल्कुल.
Because I
हाँ,
was in the Krishnamurti campus, I was a little aware of, what is
हाँ,
all this.
हाँ,
So I sort
हाँ,
of jumped in. I said, ये नाम तुम्हारे मुंह से कैसे आया? Because how
हाँ,
come you took her name? Because it's never been discussed in our house before. No
हाँ, हाँ.
pamphlet, no reading, nothing. I mean, between
So
the
when
two
did
of
it
us.
come to your attention, if I may ask, uncle? कहाँ से आया नाम ये आपके जहन में?
Just, I don't know, it came out just all of a sudden
हाँ,
in my mind.
It's the Devi
हाँ.
speaking.
Eh,
Hmm.
I was at that time I was not knowing Shri Mataji at all, but the
अच्छा.
name came. But then name came, and then she said, "Oh,
I
how do
found,
you know?"
I,
I said, you are asking me. It came out like this."
I said, this is so auspicious. And
Yes, yes.
then the next day, the Dr. Rajiv was coming to Lucknow. Then he
Hmm.
took us to mother's old house, which she had got constructed. At
निराला
that
नगर
time,
में जो है ए
yes,
ब्लॉक
जो
में.
निराला
Yes.
नगर में, correct. तो
हाँ.
वहां पे they called us, and वहां पे हम लोग का realization हुआ. We didn't feel
हाँ.
much, at least I didn't feel much, but that's how
It
it,
was a joint one.
together we got it.
Together we went there, and
So in the summer of 1991, you got
One,
your
yeah,
realization in the house
yeah,
that
in the house,
Srimata ji actually built the house that
absolutely.
she talks about in the puja, Shri Kartikeya puja in Germany. So nicely
Yeah,
she's described it. That's where you
yeah.
got your realization. लू चल रही थी, गर्मी हो रही थी, and you got your realization.
हाँ,
yeah,
but वो जैसे होता है ना कि
हाँ.
कम collective थी, there were few people, but
हाँ.
then it was the way things were. Women worked on women, men worked on
Yes.
women, right? So
Yes.
the maryadas were very clear. So Vinita waited for Dr. Rajiv to come, and then that's where we took our realization, right? So
Wow.
then we were supposed to meet them again in Delhi because we were going to Ladakh for a holiday.
हाँ
And
जी.
they called us to Delhi, and we spent an afternoon with them. Then they took us to the institutional area for our first collective evening. That was our
कुतुब
first exposure.
इंस्टीट्यूशनल एरिया में
Kutub
जो
Institute,
सफदर
yeah,
जो
yeah.
आश्रम है कुतुब आश्रम यस
That would be sometime in June.
हाँ
And
हाँ
after that, we had a holiday. We came back. He came back to Lucknow. I went back to Banaras. I was working there, and that's when we were really on our own inside yoga. So
हाँ
getting little tidbits here, tidbits there, some tapes, and
यस
largely
did
on
you
our own.
feel sorry did you feel anything when you got your realization in that summer of 1991
But
what was
no,
the experience like
I did not feel anything.
जी
But from inside,
हम्म
something was inclining towards Shri Mataji.
हम्म
And no doubts, nothing at all. And I was
yes
not knowing much about these vibrations and all. I used to hear
yes
from other side yogis,
yes
but it developed slowly.
ah
It developed slowly, and how
of
it
course
developed. Uh,
yes
Madhu was in Varanasi. I
हाँ
was in Lucknow. Then
हाँ
I had a minor this angina pain,
हाँ
and I was alone with my children. It was the night. I just got up, and this was not much. I was doing meditation and all those things, but I just went to Shimataji's
हम्म
photograph, my
हम्म
altar, and I lit the candle,
जी.
and sat down for some times. In the morning, I went to fetch milk. Then
Hmm.
I came to know that something is blocking when I was walking.
That was unstable
Hmm.
angina as he was
Unstable.
diagnosed with it.
Ah.
So then Madhu also, I called Madhu. I
Hmm.
showed to the doctor. Doctor said ki this is unstable angina. We have to watch for some time.
Hmm.
Then
Hmm.
in the meantime,
Hmm.
there was a call of Ganpat Pule seminar.
That was the
Hmm.
year that the Babri Masjid had also fallen, right?
हाँ,
The
लखनऊ काफी
next year.
टेंस था उस समय, कर्फ्यू वगैरह हो
Tense
रहा
tha.
था.
And I could get because the colleges were closed, so I could get a break, and I came back to Lucknow and stayed with the family. Normally, if you're working,
हाँ.
you can't do that. And then
हाँ.
it was announced that there is this big puja in Ganpati Pule, so we should
Hmm.
all go there. So I
Hmm.
told the leader over there, I said, my husband is not well, but
Hmm.
like we were real, I would say, very young and innocent in Sahaja Yoga also. So
Hmm.
he said, don't worry, leave everything to Shri Mataji. So that's how
हाँ.
we went. Let him continue after that.
No, I asked the doctor. Then doctor said, if you are going with your family, then it's
हाँ.
okay. But often I used to feel pain in my heart. So
Hmm.
he said that you take a sorbitrate whenever you feel pain.
Hmm.
So I used to, whenever I used to walk or something, and there was a pain, I used to take sorbitrate. We went to Ganpat Pule, our Pandal camp was on hills
Hmm.
height, and
Wow.
then children were also with us.
हाँ जी.
Our son was with him.
So he said, Papa,
Uh,
you don't worry, we are there. We will take
हाँ.
the luggage and all. So we went
हाँ.
there.
Okay.
So while going, I used to keep my tablet in my hand. If there
हाँ.
is a
हाँ.
pain, I will just put it in the mouth.
Okay.
That was there. Then that was the first day I went to attend the seminar in the evening.
हाँ. Music program.
the music.
It was a music program followed by
हाँ.
arrival of Shri Mataji
Wow.
there. And this was my first, what you can call,
Public viewing of Shri Mataji.
public viewing of Shri Mataji.
So that's the
So,
first time you actually saw Shri Mataji Sakshat in person.
start. Yeah.
Which year is this,
Then
please?
90,
92.
92,
1992. Okay. Yeah.
December 92.
J.
That, then I went there, the program went, and Shri Mataji came. And when she went, I started going back to my camp, and
Hmm.
I took the tablet in my hand because if it starts paining, I will take. But
Hmm.
that was a day of surprising. I climbed and climbed. There was no pain,
अच्छा.
and I went in the camp, and I was so full of joy. Tears were in
Hmm.
my eyes. I said, "Ki, uh, I didn't have pain. I threw that tablet,
अच्छा.
and you will not believe that
हाँ.
whole of the stay of mine in Ganpat Gule. After that, I never took a tablet at
Wow.
all,
Wow.
and after that, it continued.
Mm-hmm.
And in Lucknow also, I never took any medicine. All those things, and it was going well. And
You forgot to say that you prayed to Shri Mataji.
I just first day while
हाँ.
climbing, I just prayed to Shri Mataji.
हाँ जी.
Shri Mataji, if this is the condition of mind in this age, I don't want to be a burden on my family. So I will request you, you take me either from here
Yes.
or cure me so that I can look after my family. And after that, I never used
Hmm.
any medicine and all those things went on. There was a seminar in Dehradun also.
Uh-huh.
They said you tell your experience.
Yes.
So there also I had to climb. So he said
हाँ,
your
देहरादून तो पहाड़ी है.
पहाड़ी है. तो
कैंप्स
हाँ.
लगाते थे ऊंचे ऊंचे.
so then they
हाँ.
said Mr. Kapoor, you tell your experience because today also you climbed and your
हाँ.
TNT is done. That,
What did TNT expand to for the benefit of everyone watching, please?
वो
this is a medical
हाँ.
uh, test which we do on the
treadmill. It's like a
treadmill
treadmill.
test.
अच्छा अच्छा.
Treadmill test. So
Okay.
you have to run on the
Fast.
हाँ.
belt,
हाँ.
and they take
The heartbeat.
the heartbeat condition of any blockages and all those things.
All right.
It's a stress test. It's a stress
Stress
test.
It's a
test.
stress test. Okay.
So
Okay.
if there's a stress, it will come out. So he
हाँ.
felt that he doesn't. There is no stress now. Though later on, it sort of ballooned into episode, but that's much later in life.
So this is very interesting, this miracle where you prayed to Shri Mataji that, please cure it, because as probably then you were in your 40s with a young family and that you didn't want
50,
to be a burden.
early 50s.
Early 50s. So you were in your early
Early,
50s and you
early.
prayed to Shri Mataji, so you didn't have to take any of these prescribed
Any
medicines.
medicine. Yeah.
है ना? This is
That
such a blessing of Shri Mataji, where
Yes,
that was
Ganapati Phule is in Western
yes,
Ghats, Dehradun is in the Himalayas,
yeah.
literally in
Foothills,
Uttarakhand now, Uttar
foothills,
Pradesh.
foot,
Yeah, foothills
foothills
of the
of India.
Himalayas.
And
So
those days they
amazing.
used to select the sites which are a little more challenging. So
Acha.
though I mean he was, in my opinion, was being foolhardy, but then he rode it out. You see, as a
It's
wife,
a
I
test,
knew
it's a
men.
leap of faith, isn't
It's
it?
a
है
leap
ना?
of faith. Yeah,
वो
yeah,
है
yeah.
विश्वास है श्री माता जी पे तो किया
Uh,
अंकल ने. Very nice. Um,
yeah.
how was it in Lucknow at that? Thanks for sharing that. That's an enormous miracle. Basically, how Shri Mataji cured you. Tell us about your journey in Lucknow. What was it like? Because हम लोग की आदत हो गई है. Now we are on WhatsApp, नहीं तो Snapchat, नहीं तो this, that, social media. Everything is instant. But in those days तो मोबाइल फोन भी नहीं होते थे. लैंडलाइन भी इक्के दुक्के लोगों के घर होती थी. तो कैसे कम्युनिकेशन होता था? Because at that time we had newspapers and magazines and post. The letters used to come handwritten and nice. So what was the communication like, and what was the Sahaj scene in Lucknow in those days in the early 90s?
actually I don't know. It was just uh, I never tried to do anything.
Hmm.
I lately realized that Shimata ji
Hmm.
uh, is using me
हाँ
as
जी.
her instrument, and
हाँ.
she gave me the opportunities
हाँ.
to go to different places in Lucknow
हाँ.
and convey the message of this incarnation coming on earth and the
Hmm.
purpose of her this
The public
incarnation
programs.
public programs. So that has become my inner what you call
Inner
ki,
calling.
I used to love
हाँ.
talking about Shimata ji, talking about Sahaja Yoga,
हाँ.
and giving realization. And fortunately, my leader was like that. He will always push me. Ki, Mr.
अच्छा.
Kapoor, you go there, you tell like that.
हाँ.
So
हाँ.
that development came, and I started telling in my office also. It
हाँ.
happened. Whosoever will come in my room, chamber, I will talk
हाँ.
only about Sahaj Yoga. To whom
Did you
all,
have Shri Mataji's photograph in your office?
yeah, I had.
Yeah.
This is Indian Overseas Bank in Hazratganj branch. That is what he was.
Very
I mean,
nice. Uh-huh.
Navchetna, Navchetna.
Uh-huh.
It is to
Very good.
that area. So
So,
that's when.
and you won't believe that my boss came,
Huh.
and he first boss came. Then he said he to my HR people, why this man is sitting here and for how long he is here. So he
Huh.
said for more than 7 years. So he said, then transfer him from here.
Oh.
So then he says he's already under transfer. So he said, you relieve him from here. Then they talked to the place where I was posted. It came they came to know that that office is closed in Delhi. So I was not relieved in that case. The
Acha.
other person wrote to my head office about my
Uh-huh.
transfer, and he was telling the moment you get the permission, you relieve him. Next day, that person was transferred, and I was there. This
Which year is this, Uncle? थोड़ा time frame भी दीजिए इसको. This is such a miracle. Nice. Very good.
no,
Such so
this
stable
was
for the family. Huh.
From say 92, 93, 94, 95, 96 till 98 he was there. Then he was
Acha.
transferred to Ludhiana.
Acha. Acha.
that
Then finally they sort of
even
broke the spell.
one of my bosses, he said,
Huh.
"Okay, Mr. Kapoor, when you come to my room,
Huh.
there is a total peace.
Hmm.
So what do you do?" I told
Hmm.
him about Saj Yoga. So
Hmm.
his wife objected bringing a photograph of a lady.
Oh my God.
Huh. So he said, Brijesh, what should I do? I said, what
Huh.
you do, that I keep a photograph of Shri Mataji in my room, you keep in your room. And whenever
Huh.
you free, you do meditation.
Huh.
So he used to call me in his chamber, and he will sit down and he said, you please work on me.
Wow. This is
That,
in
that
Lucknow.
Lucknow in the office.
Wow.
He,
Hazratganj में. Wow. Wow.
वो भी बैंक में.
this was another experience.
And also, Shushmita, in those days, the material wasn't much. So, when
No.
you sit on a chair, you have access to office materials, so many things could be Xerox, many phone calls could be
Yes.
made, so many things,
Yes. Yes.
Now
The
it's much more
facilities were
organized,
there. सही है.
And
And
also, it was like, if you have the peace to discuss, like you're
Hmm.
familiar with the room and, you can do it.
Yes.
Otherwise,
Yes.
we weren't then having a formal Sahaja Center or anything like that. The
Uh-huh.
tapes were far and few. All that people were doing through public programs. It is much
Uh-huh.
later that tapes were easily accessible. So we would
Mm-hmm.
wait to go to Gadpati Pule and get a tape of 2 or 3 or 4, like that, and then avariciously exchange it amongst each other. We were
Oh,
जैसे हम लोग
yeah.
we were so thirsty, प्यासे जो बोलते हैं,
हाँ हाँ
so
बिल्कुल
thirsty.
बिल्कुल
You
हाँ
know,
not only that, continuous blessings of Shri Mataji was on
हाँ.
all of us. She gave us the opportunity. There was a Muslim conference in Lucknow
yeah,
during this period, and
Which year, uncle?
it was 94,
no,
uh,
95 and 97.
around 95,
97.
and Shri Mataji sent 4 or 5 people from all over the world, from your UK. Dr.
Yes,
Jafar came, Anthony
yes,
came, and
yes.
from
Majid from
Majid
Iran.
from France.
Majid, yes,
Iran,
He
yes.
Iran,
was Iranian, but
but
from
settled in
France.
He
France.
lives in
Uh,
France, yeah.
he came. They all stayed with us.
Wow,
What an
wow.
opportunity she gave us in that,
Hmm.
to know more about Saj Yoga, to move
Hmm.
with the so good Saj Yogis in that
Yes.
case. So we were constantly getting some or other. Shri Mataji was guiding through these people. And we had a very good program in Lucknow also.
Her husband had come second time, Shankarji, to that Islamic conference, na, in
That's right.
Lucknow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There were two conferences.
Conferences.
Yes,
Second time, Majid,
we didn't know. We didn't know at that time. I was
we
at
didn't know.
Times of
We didn't know.
India. And
Yeah, yeah.
Papa, Mummy, and I would
But
read the article and
but
discussed it.
but we people were familiar with your parents. We had seen them in the collective. And
Yes.
Dr. R.P. Singh, in fact, when I came to know that he was, he had a knack for giving the right homeopathic medicines. So
Yes.
I had some kind of an autoimmune disorder in those days. I did go to him, consult him.
Yes. Yes.
Him.
Yes.
Then I was
Very
very
fond
fond of your.
memories. Yeah.
I was very fond of your mother because after every puja, she would. I had seen in Ganpati Pule, that people would be encouraged to just dance out of joy,
Yes.
and not
Joy. Yes. Yes.
not that formal, calculated,
Mm.
organized. It's just
No.
that sheer expression. So she
Exactly.
had a natural talent for dance. So I would
Yes.
drag her, and I can't dance. I have two left feet. So I would drag her and ask her to initiate the momentum. So as
Well,
much as she could, as much as she
yes.
But
could.
Yeah, she's
she
a
was
devout devotee of Shri Mataji. It's easy. It
Yes.
comes easy to her. So
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
I mean, I must
yeah.
admit, we were kind of being children as children are. You're embarrassed when your parents do something like that. So
I know that. I
we
know
feel
because
like,
after putting up an altar in my house, I thought when I came back from
yes.
Banaras, I gave up that job and I came back because
When did
this is
you
very
come to Lucknow? That was my question next. When did you then join
okay.
Uncle in Lucknow?
See,
What was?
I was there in Banaras and I had got my realization. So I
Yes.
got two tapes from Dr. Rajiv. I used to phone
Huh.
them up, give me some. So somebody
Yeah.
was coming to Banaras. They sent me two tapes. एक तो कोई गणेश पूजा थी, एक कोई
Huh.
हनुमान पूजा थी.
Huh.
So I diligently bought a cassette player. I put in the tape. I put in the photo of Shri Mataji, lit a
Yeah.
candle at night, and that was the first time I heard her voice. And I remember that impact that her voice made in me. It went right through, deep into
Yes.
my heart. And I
Yes.
was totally enamored. I heard the whole talk
Yeah.
completely at night. For me, that is such a powerful experience. I'm speaking for myself. Some
Yeah.
people have something, so that's what has hooked me on, her message,
Hmm.
hearing it from her. And I do firmly believe that when we expose ourselves to her
Hmm.
advice through her talks, they work
Yes.
on our chakras. Nobody else
Yes.
can lower our egos. We have so much ego. Only she can, sometimes
True.
through laughter, sometimes to scolding us or whatever.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
my experience. So
Very
over
true.
there, I was reading about the Nabhi because there were two Nirmala yogs I got,
Uh-huh.
and from the Buajis, the
Yes.
the
Oh, yes.
Buajis of our center.
Uh-huh.
Uh, if you
एक
remember
बार
your marriage,
I remember Buaji because they lived very close to where our house is in
yes,
Lucknow. And
Indra Nagar, right, right.
yes, and Mummy actually went with Buaji once to Shri Mataji's Virat Puja
Yes, possibly,
in
possibly.
Delhi.
Buajis,
And yeah, go on.
Buajis were Buajis of Dr. Jayaprakash, so they became the Jagat Buajis. And
Ah,
they
okay.
yeah.
They were
So
very
like
sweet because हम लोग भी गए थे
very sweet.
after many
Yes,
years.
and
Yeah.
and they both of them gave so much love to the collective,
Oh,
जो
wow.
निर्वाज प्रेम जो होता है. So
Absolutely.
I always remember them with so much respect and love. So उनसे दो निर्मला योग मिली थी. When I
Mm-hmm.
took them there, and they had a particular talk on the Lakshmi Tattva, the Nabhi Chakra, Hindi में
Uh,
थी. So
uh,
I used to read all that and then
mm,
pick up cues on the books that mother recommended, whether it was the
mm,
Gyaneshwari or the
mm.
Amrit Anubhav, Saundarya Lahari. Access to all that is much easier in Banaras than anywhere else.
That is
because
true. That is
that's
true.
the
Such a
hub.
holy
That's the
place.
hub. Yeah, that's the hub, and all the big
Ah,
publishers, Banaras,
yes. Gita Prakash.
Chokhamba, and others are there, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Vishwavidyalaya Prakashan and all.
Right.
Anyway, so
Yeah.
I was picking up all that also along with my, literature reading and finding similarities. So then I said, my God, what am I doing here? This way I'll never settle my Nabhi Tattva. If I'm here, the children are there, you know. So on the spur of the moment, I went to the management. I said, I want to resign. They were shocked. They said, what's wrong? What have we done? You're doing well. My students were going to JNU, So I
Yes.
resigned and I took a three month notice period. I completed the course, came to Lucknow. When I came to Lucknow,
Teaching in a secondary school or a
no,
graduate bachelor's?
no, this was bachelor's affiliated to
Bachelor's.
BHU.
Uh-huh.
I was teaching linguistics and English literature both at BA level.
So that was, I mean,
And,
professionally speaking, that was a bit of a step down, resigning from there because,
yeah, it was
uh,
a shock to everybody. Who else
yes,
it would be so foolhardy, right? But then I
yeah,
came back, and
well,
then
in the eyes
those
of the
days,
world,
yeah,
even.
those days I did apply for places in Lucknow, etc. I didn't get it, but
Huh.
here also I was working for other places, whatever Vinita could arrange for me, I did. And once
Huh.
I went to Delhi to meet Chaya
Huh.
ji in. She was an old Sehjogni. I'd heard about her. She was in that Safdarjung enclave, the first center that was running in
Yes.
Krishna. I went to
Yes.
meet her. I had some doubts.
Aya and Francois.
I don't know
He's,
her second name. We just called her Chaya ji.
um, her husband is French, isn't it? Is that the
I
same?
do. I have no idea, Shushmita.
No,
I
that's
met her
Sandhya,
twice in
sorry.
the.
I'm confusing. There are two yoginis here in England. So yes, go on, sorry.
So she was a very old Sehjogini of India, and
Delhi's.
perhaps she had
Huh.
stayed with Shri Mataji in London during their stay. That's what we'd heard. Anyway, I just went there because I was
Huh.
confused what to do. I'm still working. My children need me, and so on and so forth. So I was
Yeah.
sitting before her, Shushmita, and she was talking to somebody on the phone,
Hmm.
and she didn't know why I had come. I hadn't uttered my doubts or my queries to her.
Huh. Huh.
And whatever answer she was giving to that person in response to the questions on those landline phones,
Hmm. Hmm.
I was getting my answers, sitting at mother's altar.
Yeah.
And when she finished, she says, yes, Madhu, what can I do for you? So I told her, I said, Chaji, I've got all the answers for which I had come. And thank you very much. So I went back. I resigned
Huh.
from that job once again and then paid attention to my children. You know what I'm trying. And then later on, we were doing Sahaja Yoga work in Lucknow, like he was doing it on his own. I was talking about it to the ladies. And these two
Yes.
ladies were in my house, Shushmita, on a November 27th, I remember specifically,
Hmm.
1995,
Hmm.
this
Hmm.
November 27th. And this letter came from UP Higher Education where they called
Hmm.
me for an interview on the 4th of December. I said, my God, I have put away my books. I've put away everything. I'm no longer connected with teaching. And here I have to appear before a board again.
Yes.
So I went and I got an encyclopedia. I started reading up and I reached Allahabad for that interview because it's important, to be there.
Yes.
So
Yes.
when I reached there in before the board of 7, it's a big body,
Yeah.
it's a very
Yeah.
prestigious body and they're
Yeah.
all experts. So they turned to me and they said, Mrs. Kapoor, why are you here? You were selected the last time. So I said, I'm here because the commission in its wisdom chose to send me to another city. I had to come to Lucknow because my family is here. So they said that you can't complain about the commission. I said, sir, I'm merely answering your question. If I had complained, it would be in writing before you, you know.
Yeah. Nice.
So they were just sort of, they just started treating me very nicely. And then they started talking to me in Hindi for an English interview. Anyway,
Please talk to us also in a mixture of Hindi English because there are certain
okay.
expressions जो हिंदी में ही होते हैं.
ओके ओके तो फिर
So
वो
yeah,
हिंदी
I know
में जब हाँ
हाँ,
हिंदी में भी बोलने
बोलिए बोलिए.
लगे मुझे लगा कि ये तो बिल्कुल जैसे कहते हैं ना कि वो सदमे में आ गए थे एक तरह से उन्हें लगा नहीं कि कोई इतना मुंह फट होगा ना, चेयरमैन से ऐसे बोल दे। Anyway, so when I got selected this time, I didn't know about it. But this is so interesting, Shushmita. I'm just being a little fast forward. In the
Go on.
month of April, a lady comes looking for our address, knocks at my door. I had never met her before. She didn't know me. She says, I'm Dr. Shushmita Day. I said, you're welcome. She said, are you Madhu Kapoor? I said, yeah. She says, Are, you have such a lovely home, such lovely children. Why do you want to work? I said, Hua kya? What happened? She said, No, no, you've been selected in the higher education. I had got no letter. I pretended
उस
as though I
जमाने
knew
में लेटर्स
everything.
नहीं आते थे कभी
नहीं
कभी।
आते थे. So मुझे लगा, मैंने कहा अरे बाप रे बाप, मुझे पता नहीं, इसको मालूम है, मेरे हाथ से फिर से निकल गया
ओहो।
अपॉर्चुनिटी. तो मैंने शांति से उनको सुना. I pretended as though I know everything, playing the game. So she started telling me, Ki, you are this, your number is there, so and so forth. So after a cup of tea and, nice talk, she went away. Then I said, ये दूध किसने भेजा है मेरे पास, ये दूध बन के आई है. Because it's true,
हाँ,
Shushmita. I mean, look at the
सही है।
synchronicity. There's
Yes,
somebody sitting, I mean, mother's behind me, na. I left it for
absolutely.
the Nabhi
She's
chakra.
orchestrating it all for
Yeah,
you. सब कर रही है
yeah,
आपके
कर
लिए।
रही है. और खैर, anyway, I went and then I rang up. By the time, a lot of people in Lucknow had got to know about Sahaja Yoga. A lot of senior IS officers and their wives were doing Sahaja Yoga. So one of them is a good friend of Mrs. Bharti Singh. Then I told her and her husband. So they rang up the people. They ensured that this time I get Lucknow, I was already there in the list. But that was nice.
हाँ,
And when I went and I got this college, I was so happy because once I joined, I came to know this college is from 7:30 to 11:30. So I have the whole
wow.
day with
What
my
a lovely
family.
college.
Yeah, lovely college. And through, so we had the whole day to do our Sahaj activities,
सही
which we
है,
would
सही
do.
है। हाँ,
After my daughter came back from school at 3:30, she was in Lamatnia, na? And so we ladies would often get opportunities to go to some other place where these IS ladies had found, कि अच्छा इस जगह बताते हैं. So we would all go together, 2 cars,
Which
three
year is
cars.
this? कब की
This
बात
was
है ये?
from 96 onwards.
96 onwards. Okay.
96
Very
onwards,
nice. हाँ,
95. Oh no, in fact, from 94 onwards, 94,
90.
95, 96. So that's
Okay.
when the ladies were also in a kind of a separate but parallel group doing
Yeah.
Sahaja
And
Yoga
that's
work.
a
These people were also doing it. We were not in any discordance or anything.
no.
Like that's how it sort of. And then because both of us were deeply involved, our
Yes.
home became quite the. I would
Yeah.
say in
The
those days
hub
very.
almost.
हाँ. फिर ये डॉक्टर माजिद वगैरह रहे, अरुण आप्ते भी रहे हमारे यहाँ, सुष्मिता.
अच्छा.
From Lucknow only.
He was invited
Really?
by
Oh, Shankarji will
Dinesh
be
Rai.
so pleased to know.
हाँ, ये बताओ.
The main thing was he just came as a musician.
हाँ.
He was not knowing Sahaj Yoga.
कब की
But
बात है अंकल, ये बताइए?
ये
When was this?
97.
97. So he came as a musician, not as a Sahaja Yogi in
No,
1997.
he was a Sahaj Yogi,
he
but
was a Sahaj Yogi, but
जी.
knowing not much. But in Lucknow, giving programs of music, he
अच्छा.
developed he developed Sahaj Yoga within himself. The
Wow.
ragas, work on ragas, on chakras.
he planned it all, the clearing with the different ragas.
Yes,
In
yes.
He planned it in Lucknow. He got that space to do it, and then he
Wow.
perfected it. And he went that Ganpati Pule. He then gave a formal
So
presentation also.
so he stayed
That
with
was
you for some time
Yeah,
then?
three months.
months.
3 months.
Shri
Oh.
Mataji gave us lot of
Oh,
opportunities. No
Imagine
doubt.
listening to all the ragas and all the vibrations and meditating to Shri Mataji. Wow,
that
wow.
was
Live
that was very
performance.
very interesting because like with us he was living just like a family member.
बिल्कुल,
I mean,
बिल्कुल.
जैसे हम खाते हैं वही खाएंगे, वही अगर मेड नहीं आएगी तो फिर साथ काम करना, like that.
हाँ हाँ
normal,
हाँ बिल्कुल
normal. And his wife, when she came to live, I can't tell you what a lovely person she was. I mean,
yes
she never made us feel that she's any different to us. It was a learning for me also, because
हम्म
I was always fascinated by the Grah Lakshmi Tattva,
yes
the Nabhi Chakra. Because the first
हाँ
time we met Shri Mataji in Kalpana ji's house, वो
हाँ
बड़ी
हाँ
हंस के बोली थी सुष्मिता कि अरे लखनऊ में सहज वहां के लोगों का तो चित्त सब नाभि पे ही होता है
ये कब की बात है ये सच श्री माता
ये
जी
श्री माता जी से हम लोग मिले थे उनके घर बिकॉज प्रभात भाई सब वाज नोन टू देम फ्रॉम देयर चाइल्डहुड तो उनकी
अच्छा
बेटी की कोई सगाई थी उसमें बॉम्बे बुलाया था
हाँ
सो द
हाँ
डे आफ्टर द इवेंट वी वेंट with flowers to meet Shri Mataji for the first time
हाँ हाँ
पर्सनली आई मीन
अच्छा
तो उनके श्री चरणों में बैठे थे तो हम
हाँ
लोग नीचे जमीन पे बैठे तो
हाँ
कहे जाए सब लोग घर में नहीं कुर्सी पे बैठो तो हम लोग नहीं बैठे तो श्री माता जी मुस्कुराई हम लोग को देख के तो बोली अच्छा आर यू अ सीकर बोथ ऑफ अस
हाँ
नहीं पहले बोली कि अच्छा रहने दो इन लोगों को मतलब समझ गई कि नीचे ही बैठेंगे बगल में नहीं
हाँ
बैठेंगे है ना
हाँ
फिर अपने पास बुलाया और फिर
हाँ
धीरे धीरे बातों बातों में किसी बात पे कहा अरे देखा गणेश जी कितने कितने जरूरी हैं किसी बात पे ऐसे ऐसे सहज सिखाया इट वाज सो
वाह
सच अ
At the
ब्लेसिंग
first time that visit,
हम्म
Baba Mama came to meet her,
अच्छा
and he bowed down.
और मराठी में कुछ कहा
मराठी में कुछ कहा
हाँ
हम लोग
तो
को तो समझ में नहीं आया
श्री माता जी ने कहा कि जस्ट सी
हाँ
how his kundalini is playing.
before me and she made us watch through his
हम्म,
clothes in the month of November जो हल्की एक स्वेटर भी पहनेंगे उसके थ्रू उन्होंने हम लोग को मतलब फिजिकल आईज को दिखाई कुंडलनी की फड़फड़ाहट
बाबा
थोड़ा
मामा
हमको जरा जरा उसको विस्तार से बताइए जरा कैसा कैसा था वो दृश्य
मैं आपको बताऊं बाबा मामा ने दंडवत प्रणाम किया
साष्टांग
साष्टांग
फिर उठे
साष्टांग
कुछ
ओके
मराठी
हाँ
में बोले
उसमें फिर he talked about some problem
हम्म
that was a Nabi problem. Then Shri
हम्म
Mataji washed.
open I remember her eyes Shushmita
हम्म,
she kept looking at her eyes with her eyes on his navi
वाह
focusing and then she said this to us हम लोग
हम्म
बिल्कुल नॉविस थे भाई
Look how the Kundalini is
is
working,
working and you could see the pulsation
and you can see the
on his
pulsation
nabi back
स्वेटर के
मतलब
नीचे वाह
sweater
हाँ
के नीचे
हाँ
उसमें.
किस किस
That,
रंग
that
की थी सिल्वर कलर कैसा था मैंने हम
it's like
just
pulsation
oh you could
pulsation,
जैसे
feel the you could see the movement on the
movement
sweater
movement.
as
yeah
it
Yeah.
it's
moved
like it's like a vein that is visible but
yes
something is deeply pulsing but the vein
yes
must have been pulsing so much to be visible through the garments that
yes
you wear
like waves
like
wow
waves but visible she made it visible to us
yes
you see
yes of course it's a
she
miracle
wanted
that
to teach us she
yes
wanted to teach us
yes yes
this is it.
yeah so
So her love is so enveloping. Like we were strangers in her home, but her conversation was so enveloping.
so
That
ये
is
प्रभात जी जो आपने नाम बोला था जरा बताइए क्या कनेक्शन
ये
था
Kalpana ji's husband.
अच्छा अच्छा
Kalpana
so
ji's
you
husband.
were friends or colleagues
We grew up together.
these people, him and his brother and his parents, they
हाँ
were neighbors in Nishadganj. जो ब्रिज है ना,
अरे
वहाँ पे बेसिक
निशादगंज
हाँ जो बेसिक शिक्षा का जो स्कूल है वहाँ
हाँ
पे they were neighbors and they have played.
And he was the only son,
अच्छा
uh, and not only son, only child. So they were very
वाह
particular, and he was a doctor. He was
हाँ
doctor in the leprosy hospital. So he was very particular that he should not go alone. So he would
हम्म
come along with one servant. So we used to play
They were childhood
same age group.
playmates.
He was
so
in between
this
me.
is Mr. PC Srivastav Kalpana Didi's husband.
Yes, yes.
He,
Prabhat,
Prabhat.
Prabhat. Yes, you're right.
PK,
Prabhat,
PK,
sorry.
PK,
Yeah.
PK,
PK.
PK. PK
PK.
Shrivastava.
He was known as PK to everybody in Sahaj.
Yes, yes.
Mm.
He was a doctor, or his father
No,
was
no,
a
He was,
doctor.
no.
his father was
His
a
father.
doctor.
His father was a
And
doctor. Okay.
they were neighbors in Nishadganj, so they played together as
Uh-huh.
childhood.
Uh-huh.
So Prabhat Bhai Sahib's mother was my mother-in-law's, like afternoon, friend or
Padosan, friend, Saheli.
later on. I remember, meeting her after my marriage also.
Uh-huh.
That time we didn't know anything about Sahaja Yoga till long, long after. In
Yes.
fact, in 1992, I think it was, or maybe 92 or 3, when Prabhat Bhai Sahib came to Lucknow, he came to our house in Indira Nagar.
Wow.
And he saw Shri Mataji's photo, which is where she
Uh-huh.
wears the white shawl, remember? And she
Uh-huh.
sort of glance, everybody's favorite photo, she has a
Yes.
white shawl and that side glance. So
Yes.
he saw the photo and he says, "Arey, mummy ki photo yahan bhi aa gayi." Then we started talking of Sahaja Yoga. Then he invited us to Bombay. That's
Ah,
how we went for, and had that little half an hour tatita with the family and Shrimataji's kirtan.
wow. Wow.
That's
So, is this that
Mhm.
Shrimataji told you about these so many things in such beautiful ways that only Shrimataji does?
yeah, that's true. But
Yeah.
No,
I feel that we were blessed, but not yet. Uh, I think we were too much of, I would say, not prepared to
Mm-hmm.
really take it in. That's in
Yes.
hindsight we realize what we had got, but maybe we didn't suck in enough.
but around 98, uh,
1998.
98 around, I was transferred to Ludhiana.
J.
So in Ludhiana, what happened that we were talking, my brother telephoned me. I
Huh.
told him that I have been transferred
Hmm.
and Madhu and children will remain in Lucknow because
Hmm.
of their education. So he
Hmm.
said, let me try
Hmm.
through sources ki if you can be retained there.
Hmm.
So he spoke to somebody,
Hmm.
but they said ki no, no, no. Whenever he's transferred, he uses political forces. While
Yes.
I was during my all of the stay, I never used any political and those things. Then he told me ki they are not ready. I said there will be something
Hmm.
behind this transfer. So you don't worry now. Let me go. And that was the turning point of mine in Sahaj Yoga. That I
So
went
your
there.
brother is a Sahaja Yogi, I'm assuming. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
He
Yes.
took to realization after our movements in Sahaj. Then later
Uh-huh.
on, he got involved by Sir CP in setting up of the National Trust.
Uh-huh.
But
And he's based in
today,
Delhi.
but for health
हाँ
reasons, he doesn't venture out much now.
हाँ, नहीं पापा मम्मी ने हमको आई मीन तब तो हम लोग रोज
But
दिन में तीन चार बार करते थे तो आई यूज्ड टू
बात
गेट
करते थे.
ऑल द खबर
Okay,
क्या हुआ
okay,
क्या
okay.
नहीं हाँ
But for health reasons, उनकी अब थोड़ी सी he is sort of taken a back seat.
ओके सो
हाँ.
But
फिर हाँ बताइए हमको
no, I'm just telling that it was a turning point because I was alone there.
हम्म
So instead of selecting a separate apartment,
हम्म
I stayed in a prince hostel
अच्छा
that was only for men, and it
हाँ
was just behind my office. So I need not use any conveyance and all those things. I will
हम्म
walk, and
सही है
so there I got lot of opportunity uh,
हम्म
because very few were doing Saj Yoga in Ludhiana at that time.
हम्म
And there was a leader, Mr. Pathak. He was
हम्म
an advocate.
हम्म
Very few people there then.
Very few people. So I used to go Saturday. There was
हम्म
a always a collective meditation.
हम्म
But after that, the programs in Punjab started
Mm.
taking place.
Wow.
And nobody else will go there except me. I was the spokesperson for Sahaja Yoga there.
There were few people, and he got the chance, and he
That
really
that
loved it.
really it
And see how it
I
worked
used,
out. Yeah.
yeah, it worked out. And I every step I used to feel ki, it is all Shri Mataji is doing.
Yeah.
I went for a public program. Next day, I just got up from my seat, went for a follow-up program, again came back in my office,
Wow.
completed my work. So it went on.
Wow.
And what affection and love I got from the collectivity of their doing. Your in UK, Navneet is there.
Uh-huh.
Have
She's a
you met
singer.
Navneet? Oh, she's a singer.
Yes. She doesn't know me
Uh,
personally, but I know her. That's very famous, isn't it? Very nice, talented people. Yes, I know who you're
there,
talking about. Very nice. She is.
there were her mother first came to Saj Yoga. I
Acha.
all Saj Yogi used to come in my room.
Ah.
We were discussing about Saj Yoga and programs and all those things. So she used to take a walk, her mother.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So one day she came. She said, Ki, there lot of people are coming. You are talking very good things. Can I also join? I said,
Oh.
of course. And then she started doing Saj Yoga. And Navneet used to go and drop her.
Wow.
And one day she came to me. Ki,
Ah.
Uncle, uh, what is there? My
Uh-huh.
mother goes for some meditation.
Uh,
Something inside is attracting me, and I am
uh,
pulled by some force to go inside.
uh.
Then I told her about Saj Yoga. Then she started doing shoe beating and all because they were having a case between their what you call family. So she
Mm.
used to tell me her experiences like when she will do shoe beating, she Ganesha will come and put a hand on her shoulders.
Oh. How
She
old was
used
she
to
then? Must have been in school or something, was she?
she was
30.
teaching music,
Oh, so
beginner.
she wasn't like, like a child. She was grown up.
She was grown up
Yeah.
and not not that way. And there in music, her experience was so good of Saj Yoga. One girl was not able to perform
Mm.
that raga. So she was trying because she started doing Saj Yoga.
Mm.
So naturally, a feeling
Mm.
comes she should also know.
Uh, uh,
He was trying and trying. To one day,
mm.
all students said, Miss, why are you not going ahead? Why are you
Mm.
sticking on one? She will learn in her
Uh,
own code.
uh.
Then she said, Uncle, I prayed Shri Mataji, she is also your child, and these other students are your child. And that day she performed that raga beautifully well.
Wow.
Her experiences was superb. And then she used to talk to me from UK also,
I haven't
telling
seen
me,
her in a while, but I know who you're talking about.
yeah,
So yes, very nice. अच्छा अंकल
I
अभी
came to know about.
हाँ
Please tell.
आप बताइए क्या बोल रहे थे सॉरी
You were asking something.
हाँ हम ये पूछ रहे थे आंटी एक चीज जो है लखनऊ is a very well not just Lucknow but north of India as Shri Mataji has also said is a very male dominated society still is when I went to last year जब हम और शंकर जी गए थे मम्मी को मिलने and it was very sweet. Shankarji always talks about how Uncle came to see us in Bandhan. It was
Mm.
really very, very nice and very touching. So yes, thank you for that.
That, thank you for calling us also.
Welcome.
पता चले तभी तो है ना. We love
So,
to catch up with.
वही
क्योंकि
तो
हम male
मजा आता है
dominated
हाँ, तो मेल
Yeah.
dominated society में I know Shri Mataji works everything out, and how did you find it, and how did things work out for you? Because when I was growing up, it was जैसे आप बता रहे थे कि वो अकेले नहीं जाते थे for a boy, for a son, but I know हमेशा हमारे साथ कोई ना कोई होता था, या तो हमारे भाई या पापा या मम्मी. Whenever we had to go, you could never go out alone actually, or someone else would be there to accompany. So how did you do that as a lady, as a yogini, as a woman, in that sort of um culture, shall we say? क्योंकि वहां पे कुछ जाए भी तो जो पत्नी है या बेटी है या जो भी घर में स्त्री है, वो बिना पुरुष के, जो भी वो एल्डर है, उनके परमिशन के अलावा कुछ नहीं करते थे या कर सकते, है ना? तो हाउ डिड
ये
दैट वर्क आउट?
देखिए, ये सुष्मिता वहाँ का रिवाज है, लखनऊ का।
जी।
दूसरी बात यह है कि एज अ मैरिड वुमन आई रियलाइज those days I was regularly putting sindoor. That
हाँ,
helps.
हाँ,
That helps. And I found it was deeply respected in Bengal also. Because as
यस,
young householders, we lived there. See,
यस,
I got married very early.
हाँ,
But in the streets of Lucknow,
हाँ,
there was rampant eve teasing.
यस,
Yeah. So if I am a mother to a growing girl, I won't throw caution to the winds.
नो,
So there is no harm in being at least aware and telling our children that this is
जी,
the way it is.
जी,
And later on, I said, yogis, you can differentiate between the bad agya and the
यस,
bad muladhar
यस,
and act accordingly, right?
यस,
But
यस,
that comes with sahaj, and women have an instinct for this also. You
डेफिनेटली,
understand?
यस,
You know that. There's a sixth sense for that.
यस,
Regarding
हाँ
our
जी,
collective also showed that kind of, male dominance bias. But at home, I would have my little,
या,
attempts at trying to wrest a little space for the women in our Sage collective. Because when he will talk about it just now, when mother gave him the chance to take over the charge of the Lucknow Center when it was being constructed, and later on, he was in charge of the
जी,
state also. So I
यस,
would insist on ki whenever you have a seminar, give us that half an hour, 1 hour when everybody's out for lunch for the women's seminar, for a
यस,
ladies' talk, because
यस,
it was important to tell the women.
यस,
We were having very contradictory messages saying that if so and so doesn't do Sahaj Yoga, if your wife doesn't do Sahaj Yoga, leave her. That was a wrong message going. That was not the answer.
हाँ,
Because you wouldn't say that to a woman and say, Ki, if your husband is not doing Sahaj Yoga, you leave him. Can you say
it's
that?
it's just not done in India. Yes.
It's not done in India, right? So
Yeah.
you can't be so disruptive. So I was getting the feedback around,
जी.
and I was also realizing that that's not the way to talk about it.
Mm.
You have to, you can understand what I'm saying, that you have to make yourself a part of the family,
Yes.
and not be so disruptive.
Yes.
Otherwise, Sahaj will reflect badly on you, and rather, it will be taken badly, and
Yes.
it will cause a lot of reaction in the
Yeah.
society that you are hoping to change through Sahaj
Yeah.
Yoga.
Yes.
And even in a work environment, you'd see there was a lot of talk in Lucknow in those days. Those are non-Sahaj Yogis, these are Sahaj Yogis. Now, my question was that when I'm a professional and earning,
Yes.
I I cannot enter my college and say, I will teach only Sahaj Yogis.
Yes.
I'm earning, you see.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so if X is a patient in a civic hospital, he
Yeah.
can't say, I will see only patients who've taken realization. You
Yes.
see, so then Sahaj becomes a deeply spiritual and a very personal practice. And
Absolutely.
you have to learn to wade through the muddy waters of whatever your society around you is doing or working. And
Mm.
I have my feelings. I mean, I didn't carry the magic wand of Sahaj Yoga everywhere, and everybody didn't change immediately, but
No.
I could hold my own.
Yes.
I could hold my own. For me, that was important. And also, I realized that we cannot be so disruptive. That was through a painful experience of many Sahaja women, who tried to uh, sort of throw it in their face.
Uh-huh.
You cannot throw Sahaja in somebody's faces also,
No,
like
they have to
putting.
desire also.
They have to, and also the Sahaj treatments can also be too much in people's, for people to stomach initially. For
Yes.
example, if you go to somebody's house and you're a new bride and you insist on putting a matka for the
हाँ,
house, for yourself, for the room, you take your time to do it.
सही है.
In India, or maybe I am coming out too strong, you will perhaps corroborate with
Yeah.
me. If you have entered into a home
Yeah.
and everybody is not doing Saj Yoga, can you just immediately start doing all that?
No, it's
You
not
can't.
possible.
It's not going to work out.
No.
But in collectivity, things are changing now.
Things
People
are
are
changing.
little more moderate,
more ladies
little
are
more
coming
moderate.
forward.
People, we are telling each other in a more acceptable way, how
Yes.
to
Yes.
remold yourself and the clothes to wear and how to change for the collective on a Saturday,
Yes.
because India is also becoming very, very westernized, the
No,
girls don't.
when we go there, we find it's more Western than Western.
Correct,
Western.
correct, correct.
So,
Yeah, yeah,
So it is
yeah.
there. And having grown up with like, Papa, Mummy, aap log to waqif hai Papa, Mummy se, and the
Uh-huh.
kind of upbringing they gave me as their eldest
Conservative. It should
daughter.
be quite conservative.
They would no, they weren't conservative at all.
Oh,
They're
they were.
just
Okay.
what Shri Mataji has taught. You have the traditions. They are your foundation. But that should not stop you from achieving. So when I actually started work, Times of India में उस जमाने में मैनेजमेंट मार्केटिंग मैनेजमेंट में आई वाज द फर्स्ट गर्ल एंड इट वाजंट इजी लोग कहते थे टिक्का टिप्पणी करते थे बट आई
In
हैड द
Delhi or
सपोर्ट ऑफ
Lucknow?
माय पेरेंट्स दैट इज व्हाई आई कुड डू
Delhi
इट
or Lucknow?
बोथ
Acha,
बोथ
both. Okay. I can
क्योंकि
imagine that.
हाँ क्योंकि लखनऊ से जब हम फिर लखनऊ के बाद हम दिल्ली गए इंडिया टुडे में तब लोग
अच्छा, अच्छा।
क्योंकि लोग कहने का तो हम लोग के यहाँ होता है ना कहते तो बहुत
ये
है
बात, हाँ, बहुत कुछ
पापा
तंज,
मम्मी
हाँ।
को काफी सुनना पड़ा but that didn't affect them. They always supported me and encouraged me to because they knew that there are dharmas and I'll stick to it, and by Shri Mataji's grace she's worked it out like that for us, all of us. So this
Let
this
me.
is the,
This is so interesting because let me share with you two things that happened to us as a family when we took to Sej Yoga.
please.
We came in a splash, you see,
हाँ,
everybody. Then
हाँ,
Vinita came that same year in September, and she gave realization to my children.
हाँ, हाँ,
And my son was going through a period where his tonsils were always aggravating him, and
yes.
the coming months would have taken him for a
Hmm,
tonsillectomy.
yes.
But she said, she said very casually, she said, "Oh, Shivata ji ने कहा है कि
Hmm,
घी कपूर लगा दो, ठीक हो जाएगा."
हाँ,
तो हमने रोज रात को घी कपूर लगाना शुरू कर दिया, और
हाँ,
धीरे 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 अजवाइन धुनी ही डिडंट टेक टू इट बिकॉज इट वाज वेरी स्ट्रांग.
yes,
बट घी
yes.
कपूर रात को लगाते थे, और क्या हुआ सुष्मिता, उनके टॉन्सल्स ठीक हो गए, और
Oh,
वो कभी ऑपरेशन की जरूरत नहीं पड़ी. और धीरे धीरे ही टुक टू सहज म्यूजिक इन अ बिग वे दैट his appreciation of classical music unfolded through Sahaj music. So
okay.
he's deep into classical music, understanding and all that, much more than all of us. I'm still
Yes.
tone deaf. And my daughter also took to Sahaj Yoga,
Thank you.
as
Ah,
children.
yes,
And
such a
there
blessing.
was there was a dance performance in Gadpati Pule in which
Uh-huh.
all the young people took part. So she was the soul. वो
Hmm.
हमें रॉ फुटेज कहीं कहीं देखने को मिली है यूट्यूब में, बट उस जमाने इतने प्रिजर्व भी नहीं करते थे, बट इट्स देयर बिफोर श्री माता जी, तो उतना तो रहा है. So that is just something that we all came in it together. And we are just hoping that it will carry forward in the third generation also. Let's see how it happens. We
It
don't
will, by
know.
Shri Mataji's blessings, it will. It has
Yeah, yeah,
different times and shapes and forms, and Shri
yeah,
Mataji's
yeah.
blessings is with us, and that's the main thing.
Uh,
So, um,
you must hear about how he came to, how the message of handling the Lucknow Center came to Brijesh.
please share
If,
with
if,
us.
if, if you have the time.
Yes, please share with us.
No, I actually in 2001 I took voluntary retirement. I was in Ludhiana. I was telling them that please post me either to Lucknow because these they were all alone and there was a theft, massive theft in our house. So I told them and they said no. So there was a scheme. I took the retirement and came to Lucknow. I was on my way to Lucknow. So I stopped in Delhi and I was with my brother. That time, if you would have heard, the country leader was Mr. Nalgirkar. He was the country leader. He telephoned me, कि, Mr. Kapoor, you go to Lucknow and take over charge from the present coordinator.
That was Rajiv Joshi.
That was Rajiv Joshi. I said, Nalgirkar Sahab, I'm just coming in from uh, Ludhiana. I don't know anything about UP and Lucknow. So he said, this I'm not saying this thing. These are Shimataji's orders. Then I had nothing to say. I came to Lucknow, and at that time our center was in Chowk. If you would have ever gone to that Nehru Yuva Kendra, Nimbu Park, that was there, and we have bought a land in Gomti Nagar. So the construction has already started. At that time, when I took over, so everybody was shocked because there was a full team working. So how can the ego clash comes? I had nothing to say about that. It was for me. It was Shri Mataji's orders, and I followed that. Then when I saw the accounts, in accounts there was only a balance of 4,000 rupees, and there was loans of more than 40 to 50 lakhs. Sahaja Yogi's that time leader uh, said that you people please give us the loan. We will, as soon as the money comes, we will give you back. So and the construction was going on. For me, the biggest problem was ki, how to work with 4,000 rupees, how to pay the loans and all those things. Uh, that was the time when Shri Mataji called me in Pune, and I went there. I was asked to wait outside. I was waiting. So Shri Mataji was talking to somebody or giving instructions for that day's work. So I was called. Then two people were sitting. So Shri Mataji told those two people, please go out. I was all alone. So there was a literally fear was inside. I'm alone with Shri Mataji.
Yes.
Then I can't tell you. She asked me what is happening in Lucknow. What about loan? What about all things progressing? And everything she was asking. Then uh, she was talking about what is happening in the country. And in that, she was telling that how money is swindled inside yoga.
Wow.
So I just thought, ki, Shimataji, why is she telling me? Is there
Mm.
any fault in me? She wants to
Mm.
teach me.
Mm.
And then she said, ki, you don't know. Uh, I have given second life to these people,
Mm.
and they have taken all my money. It was a talk about that time, not inside yoga.
Yeah, I know,
Exactly.
uncle. So yeah, वो
So
पता है.
then she told me, look, what is happening in South?
Mm.
That she was talking about Amma,
Yes, the
famous.
false guru.
eh, He, all her disciples are working day and night, and
Mm.
here my disciple, all to whom I have given life, they are doing against me.
Mm.
I just sat down. Then she talked about many people. I can't,
Mm.
that short time, I can't say, but
Sure.
I was shocked. Then after that, I did pranam to Shri Mataji, and I got up. Then she
Mm.
said, "Ki, why you are going? Meet Mr. Shivasto."
Mm.
I came outside. The dining table was there. All people were sitting there. Sir
Mm.
CP was also sitting there. So he asked me, "हो गई आपकी बात श्री माता जी से?"
Mm.
तो मैंने कहा, "पापा जी हो गई मेरी बात." What did she say?
Mm.
मैंने कहा उन्होंने कहा था कि आपसे मिलता जाऊं.
Mm.
I said, अच्छा. Then he gave me a check of rupees 12 lakhs. This is for your center. जो
Mm.
लोन्स लिए हैं सबका लोन्स आप दीजिए.
बाथरूम
Mm.
बनने के लिए,
और
स्पेशली बाथरूम,
सारा
दैट वाज अ बिग प्रॉब्लम.
सारा
Yes.
सारा बनवाइए उसको.
Mm.
और you won't believe, I tell you, कि I put those 12 lakhs in center's account.
Mm.
After putting that 12 lakhs never went down.
Wow.
Money start pouring and the center was constructed. All helped me. All
Mm.
to whom I never knew them. They
Mm.
came out. Still they are there.
Yes.
So, I just at that time I definitely felt
Mm.
you are doing nothing. Everything was done by the supreme power.
That's it.
You
When was
you,
this meeting, uncle, with Shri Mataji? When was this? 2001?
2000, 2001.
2001.
Somebody
After
told me,
birthday puja, probably, isn't it? Because
Ah,
normally,
yes, yes,
है ना?
exactly.
हाँ,
After birthday.
and somebody told me
हाँ जी.
कि Shri Mataji was asking about you in USA. She was that time in USA.
हाँ,
I just overheard it. It
हाँ,
went down. So she was knowing everything, and she knows today also everything about everybody.
absolutely.
Then she asked me, "What are you doing?"
हाँ,
I said, "Shimaji, I was in a bank.
हाँ,
I took VRS."
हाँ.
So
Voluntary redundancy scheme, VRS
yeah,
used to be there, yes.
yes. Then in my thoughts, it came. Shimataji knows everything. Why is she asking me? So then she said, "कि Mr. Kapoor, आपका नुकसान हुआ होगा."
Hmm.
तो मैंने कहा, "शिमाता जी, मैंने कैलकुलेशंस किए थे कि with my pension and my interest on my deposits will be equivalent to my salary."
Hmm.
तो बोली नहीं, आपका नुकसान हुआ होगा. And you won't believe कि all of a sudden interest on all the deposits fell down. It was
Oh,
12%. it came to 8% that time.
Oh,
And that was my loss.
significant difference, Shri Mataji had told you before you knew.
Before you
So,
knew.
so this was,
Amazing. Amazing.
and
So,
that was really
yeah,
uh, putting
yeah,
inside me.
yeah.
Then you are nothing,
Hmm.
but just go on doing Sahaja Yoga work.
That's it.
And today, if I see the records of center, I
Ji.
don't know who did that work.
Yeah. But she's the
Yes,
doer.
sir.
She's the enjoyer.
She is the
And there was a big Josh also,
हाँ,
Shushmita, in those
जी,
days.
आंटी।
Josh tha,
हाँ.
center ban raha tha, apna tha, and suddenly, it was very euphoric. And
That Islamic visit that happened where Shankarji went with Peter
uh,
Yuboha and I think Dr. Zafar at that time
Dr.
and other yogis, center
Majid,
tab ban raha tha because
ban raha tha,
she talked about the foundations were being laid and
foundation
yeah,
work.
yeah.
construction was going on for the
It was going on, but जैसे कहते हैं ना कि the suddenly it switched. You see,
Hmm.
after a birthday puja, suddenly the call came.
Yes,
You have to take over, right?
yes,
So
yes,
that was it. That was it. So
yeah.
that was the time, and
That gave me a opportunity to go, I think, 45 districts I went.
it was the
Wow,
state. He was
Yes,
also
state, 45 districts I went.
Punjab,
And
no,
I,
no. This is UP.
UP, okay.
UP. This is after
Oh,
he
okay.
came
So
back from
this is
Punjab.
the state coordinator, is it?
it is a
Yeah.
coordinator.
Yes. So UP
And that
state coordinator for Sahaja Yoga. Then you got to go
uh,
to 45 districts.
I could go.
Yes.
And the best programs were there in Meerut,
Hanji.
Nauchandi, and Gorakhpur.
Hanji.
Really. And morning meditation, I stayed for 5 6 days in Vindhyachal.
वाह विंध्याचल में
Vindhyachal,
हमारे भाई का मुंडन करवाया था पापा
अच्छा.
मम्मी का एंड टू टेल यू दैट हाउ ही पापा वाज डेफिनेटली नॉट ट्रेडिशनल मम्मी बोली विंध्याचल इतना ही शुभ जगह है बेटी के कान और नाक छिदवा देते हैं एंड
हाँ.
पापा बोले मेरी बेटी कोई जानवर नहीं है उसकी नाक
ओ,
और कान नहीं
ओ,
छिदेंगे नकेल वगैरह डालते
हाँ,
हैं
हाँ, 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 हाँ,
somehow
नहीं,
मम्मी कन्विंस तो कान तो छिदवा लिए
हाँ, हाँ.
But
नहीं, वो
yes,
होता है हमारे यहाँ पे अभी भी होता है, लड़कियों के थोड़े कान तो छिदते हैं ना, डाले बाली वाली डालें, कुछ डालें.
हाँ तो
हाँ,
ये कहानी जब हम बड़े हो रहे थे तब मम्मी
तब
बहुत
से
फनी
सुनी थी.
बताती शेयर करती
हाँ.
एनीवे
नहीं,
आप बताइए दैट्स
no,
रियली स्वीट
no, I say कि it was a beautiful atmosphere at that time.
हम्म
Uh, your heart, you have not to think,
नो
only you have to by heart go on doing it and it will work.
दैट्स
That is
इट
the beauty.
यस
And now everything is
we are older also,
older
Shushmita. We
also
have to
with the same.
reconcile
you
with
have
so
to
many things.
enjoy just sit and
Yeah,
enjoy
Yeah.
and
meditate
also I think sometimes you sort of I feel that ignoring your health is also at your own peril, which he did. So
हाँ
we had a setback because we went to USA after our son's wedding, and
हम्म
there he developed this acute anginal pain, and we couldn't do anything because there obviously medically you don't get treatment. So when
हाँ
I brought him back to India, then we went to the doctors in PGI, and then he had an
okay
open heart.
all
After
right
that, it's been a less of a physical movement, only insofar as we can go and reach. Because the children have also said that,
yes
you venture out where we can reach you if
yes
required, not at far flung
and
places.
you have to, as you say, it is always Shrimataji has been so practical. So we
Yeah,
have to be sensible with
and
ourselves. Please,
also,
हाँ,
आप क्या कह रही थी?
हम पूछने वाले थे just before we conclude, if you could share with us some other miracle stories that come to your mind because there's loads to talk और हम लोग फिर मिलेंगे बात करने लेकिन जाने से पहले कुछ कुछ और आप शेयर करना चाहेंगे जो आपको लगता है श्री माता जी ने आपको बताया लखनऊ के विषय में यूपी और हम लोगों के अपने ट्रेडिशंस या कोई मिरेकल जो आप हम लोग के साथ साझा करना चाहते हैं तो बड़ा अच्छा
देखिए,
होगा।
हमारे साथ पर्सनली तो नहीं हुआ है,
जी,
बट हमारी कलेक्टिव में हम एक नरेट कर सकते हैं
प्लीज
कि
बताइए।
जो शुरू का था,
हाँ।
वो जैसे कम सहयोगी थे, कम मटेरियल था, तो जैसे
जी।
मैंने निर्मला योग का आपको मेंशन किया,
जी।
तो वो हम लोग तो जीरोक्स करा लेते थे, कुछ एक ऐसे थे जो जीरोक्स नहीं कराते थे।
हाँ।
उनकी उनकी वजह जो भी होगी, मगर
हाँ।
उनकी वाइफ की आर्थराइटिस थी, तो आटा मलने में भी प्रॉब्लम थी।
हम्म।
ठीक है, तो उन्होंने उनसे कहा ऐसे ही कि जीरोक्स में जैसे मान लीजिए 30-35 रुपए लगेंगे, तो इससे बेटर
जी।
है आप इसको, हिंदी में है, आप इसको उतार लो। तो वो
हम्म।
उतारती थी जब टाइम मिलता था। एंड
हाँ।
वो आज भी हमारी कलेक्टिव में आती हैं, सुष्मिता।
हाँ।
कभी आप आएंगी लखनऊ, हम मिलाएंगे।
जी।
वो जैसे जैसे श्री माता जी की निर्मला योग को उतारने लगी,
हाँ।
वो
हाँ।
धीरे धीरे उनके हाथ खुलते गए। The
वाह।
arthritis left her hand. That's the vibrations, and
वाह।
done without any. It wasn't an asking for a miracle. It happened naturally. You
Such
understand?
beautiful
निर्वाज भाव
vibrations.
से, है ना?
Yes.
That
मजा
was
आ गया।
something. And I just want to share one thing कि
Please.
um, I was alone in Banaras. So there
हाँ।
were 4 women who were doggedly starting in Banaras. I was perhaps the fifth one, you
अच्छा।
know. So I
हाँ।
used to go from my college in Kashi to that collective in Banaras, and it
हाँ।
was quite a drag. तो फिर धीरे धीरे 6-7 लोग हुए, then I came back to Lucknow. So
जी।
I have had the pleasure of being the original Sej Yogis of Banaras also, one or two. जैसे
Yeah.
कम होते हैं ना, you
Yeah.
still bond with them.
Yeah.
That was it. And in Lucknow, of course, because he was involved, so our family was involved. But I, as a mother, and I was also a working professional, so I couldn't move out so much physically. You have a job to do, you have to go out in the morning to college and this and that. But I've
You have
enjoyed
job,
every
you
bit.
have family, and then
Yeah,
also
and
you have Sahaja Yoga. So it's a very packed
yes,
life.
packed. And also the children are growing up, they have to find careers.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of work going on, and I
Okay.
have enjoyed it all. I mean, I look back, it was such a fast paced,
Yes. Yes.
thing. But on the way, we have had our share of, just to tell you, on our 25th wedding anniversary, we got a chance to sit at Shri Mataji's feet.
कब की बात है?
We took time. ये होगी 74 to 25 will be, uh, I think 2000.
99.
गिनो ना, 25,
19.
हाँ, मे बी। तो वहां गए, तो हम लोग लखनऊ से प्रिपेयर होके गए, तो हम लोग को पता था श्री माता जी को राम आश्रय का कुछ
हाँ.
यादें हैं ना।
Oh,
वहां से
oh,
मलाई पान, हाँ,
yes.
मलाई पान लेके गए, फ्लाइट से गए। तो
हाँ.
जब श्री माता जी वॉज वेरी ग्रेशियस टू अलाउ अस टू विजिट हर, शी से अच्छा तो आप लोग की एनिवर्सरी है, तो मिठाई विठाई खाई। उसके बाद पूछा कौन कहाँ क्या कर रहा है, माई सन वॉज देयर, माई डॉटर वॉज देयर।
हाँ.
तो इनसे कहती क्या है, अच्छा तो एक लुधियाना में, एक लखनऊ में, एक लोनी में, my son was studying in Loni and my daughter was in LSR, and she
हाँ,
laughed.
चलिए,
She
yes.
really laughed. I mean, she always was so human about it also.
Yes.
I mean, she enveloped you with her human love. I mean, that
Yes.
kind of feeling and didn't put you so much at a. Of course, ये महामाया है उनकी, but it made you feel that in her presence you could still feel very
Yes.
nice,
You were not
very nice.
overawed so that you were
Not,
totally
yeah,
stunned.
yeah.
Yes. That's
You're
graciousness
you're
of
so rigid,
Mataji.
so
Yeah.
rigid. So
Um,
I'm grateful for that. Those little,
absolutely. And
and
Shri
the
Mataji also, sorry, आप बोलिए आंटी.
yeah, Shri Mataji also, I think, gave us all these opportunities so that we can live peacefully in our old age. What to do?
Well, she looks after us all the time, whatever age or stage, isn't it? Or wherever we are. So ये बताइए, अच्छा लखनऊ की कुछ विशेष चीजें श्री माता जी को पसंद थी ना? And also the only house that she actually built right from um, assembling the materials to buying everything, designing, buying, constructing. that was in Nirala Nagar. तो उसके विषय में आप हमें बताइएगा विस्तार से अगली बार, अगर अगर मुमकिन हो तो। पर इट्स
जितना पता
और क्या
है,
चीजें। हाँ
जितना पता है उसको, उसका कंक्लूजन पहले आपको बता दें,
हाँ
उसका
जी।
डेवलपमेंट बाद में। जब वो घर बिका था
हाँ।
तो ये आईओबी में थे, तो
हम्म।
हो सकता है प्रभात भाई साहब ने इनके सर सीपी वगैरह से कहा होगा आईओबी में अकाउंट खोल लो या जो भी कुछ होगा।
हाँ हाँ।
तो ये थोड़ा शर्माते हैं वो बताने में। आई लाइक
ओके,
टू टॉक अबाउट
प्लीज
इट।
डू।
इनके इनके पास एक चिट्ठी आई,
हाँ
ब्रजेश कपूर के नाम, इनके डेस्क पे आई,
हाँ।
और उसमें एक लेटर था। क्या था ब्रजेश?
तो क्लोजर ऑफ द अकाउंट, श्री माता जी's अकाउंट,
और
ओह
नीचे सिग्नेचर किसका है? सुष्मिता।
श्री माता जी का।
वाओ।
सिग्नेचर सिग्नेचर है उसमें।
I was not attending that department.
और
वो
वो
इन्हीं
आपके
की,
डेस्क पे। हाँ।
वो मेरे डेस्क पे आई।
इनके नाम से आई।
वाओ।
और तो मुझे बड़ा ताज्जुब हुआ। मैंने कहा ये भी एक इत्तेफाक की बात है कि ये इसको ब्रांच में जाना चाहिए था, क्योंकि जहाँ पे श्री माता जी का अकाउंट है वो बंद करेंगे। Why it is coming to administrative office? Then it came to me. तो,
यस।
तो आपके अंदर एकदम इतना ज्यादा वो भरता है
क्या
कि
चैतन्य होगा जब आपने वो चिट्ठी खोली।
हाँ, and also that sheer, your heart is all full. My God,
यस।
mother's signature. That's a very mundane thing to say, but yet it
नो
is.
इट्स नॉट, इट्स
It
नॉट,
is.
इट्स सो
It is.
स्पेशल। शमाता जी's
It's a signature.
signature, wow.
मुझे मुझे तो बस एक चीज की याद है
हाँ
कि 2004 में शिव पूजा थी
जी।
पुणे में।
हम्म।
तो इट वाज अनाउंस्ड कि भोपाल से और यूपी के कोऑर्डिनेटर श्री माता जी को आवाहन करने जाएंगे।
हाँ हाँ।
तो हम दोनों को ये हुआ कि अ, मालाओं से श्री माता जी को उनके श्री चरणों में रखेंगे और
हाँ
आवाहन करेंगे। तो मैंने उनसे पूछा, मैं तो पूना में किसी को जानता नहीं हूँ,
हाँ।
मैं यहाँ पे कैंप में हूँ, तो मैं माला कहाँ से लूँ? तो बोले आप वो पीछे चले जाइए, वहां पे वो माला बना रहा है, उससे कह दीजिए कि 2 माला चाहिए।
Okay.
मैं गया। यू वोंट बिलीव कि इतने ऐसी ऑर्डिनरी माला, you will never think that you will take it for Shri Mataji. And
अच्छा।
I went on thinking and thinking that this is not, how will I take it? How will I take it?
हाँ।
खैर ये करते करते we went to Pratishthan. Shri Mataji was there and we sat down on a tree below and we were meditating. When the call will come, we'll go
हम्म
there. After uh, say half an hour,
हम्म
uh, Mr. Nalgirkar came कि श्री माता जी तैयार हैं और रूम से बाहर आने वाली हैं, आप लोग चलिए
हम्म।
आवाहन के लिए। यू वोंट बिलीव कि उनकी ट्रे में उन्होंने मुझे एक माला दी कि
हाँ।
इससे आपको आवाहन करना है। मैंने अपनी जिंदगी में इतनी खूबसूरत माला देखी ही नहीं। मतलब इट
वाह।
वाज सो गठी कलियों से और वो
स्पेशली
ब्यूटीफुल।
बनाते हैं श्री माता जी के लिए।
तो वो चीज देखी तब मतलब यू कांट इमेजिन कि लास्ट मोमेंट तक बस दिमाग में माला ही थी और माला आ गई। मतलब
देखिए श्री माता जी की
और
कृपा।
उसमें जब आवाहन हुआ श्री माता जी व्हील चेयर पे बाहर आ रही थी, तो दंडवत प्रणाम करके उनके श्री चरणों में रखी।
हम्म
एट दैट टाइम आई टोटली फॉरगॉट कि वेयर आई एम।
हम्म
बस आई ओनली प्रेड श्री माता जी मुझे शिव तत्व प्रदान कीजिए।
हम्म।
उसी में फिर लोग जो आ रहे थे साथ में बोले कपूर साहब उठिए आगे चलना है। तब मुझे ख्याल आया कि मैं तो आह्वान करने आया था। खैर आप सुनिएगा 2004 का वो कैसेट।
जी।
श्री माता जी हैज सेड,
हाँ।
यू डू योर मेडिटेशन,
हम्म
टेक योर लेवल टू दैट level,
हम्म।
and if your guru is competent, guru will give you that state.
वाह, ये
You have not.
2004 शिवरात्रि पूजा लिंक हम आपके इस वीडियो के साथ कर देंगे, so we can all watch and enjoy.
And
That's so sweet.
that is there, and she has said this thing.
Yes.
You have to reach to that level. Your guru will provide you that level.
Wow. Wow.
So that day, it is a lesson. You
Yes.
go on doing your meditation, clean yourself, have those qualities what she is telling you a Sahaja Yogi should have,
Hmm.
and then she's there. She is, I mean, you can imagine what Shri Mataji is. It is very difficult to create that sort of thing within your heart.
Absolutely.
It's very difficult because Shri Mataji, wherever you see, everything is Shri Mataji.
Absolutely, absolutely, Uncle. You've really summed it up so nicely and beautifully, because she's in each particle of earth, air, ether, all the elements, and she's looking after us all the time. Only she can do with her enormous capacity to love and forgive us, and to,
That is true.
isn't it? And to help us stay in her shelter and in her care and be nourished by her. It
Well,
is,
it should come within our heart because
yes,
when we do our Ganesha Tarshish,
Ji,
we say Tume Pratyaksham Tattvamasi,
yes,
Tume Kevalam Kartasi.
yes,
Everything is you are.
yes,
इसके लिए आप कभी सुनिएगा
Ji,
श्री कृष्ण एंड बार्बरिक का संवाद।
Ji,
उसमें जब बार्बरिक से पूछा गया कि तुमने क्या देखा,
हाँ,
कौन सबसे बड़ा
हाँ,
धुरंधर
हाँ,
योद्धा था, तो उसने सिर्फ एक चीज कही थी, मुझे कुछ नजर ही नहीं आया,
हाँ.
एवरीवेयर ओनली श्री कृष्ण वाज देयर,
This is it.
एंड इट इज द रियलिटी विद अस,
Yes,
एवरीवेयर श्री माता जी इज देयर।
yes, yes.
दैट्स
Wow.
It
That
was a
is
beautiful to
that
talk to you.
It is so nice that you took this time out. It's very late where you are in Delhi. यहाँ पे शाम के शायद 7:45 बज रहे हैं. But
ये
आपके यहाँ
आपने
काफी देर देर हो
आपने
गई है.
इतना कोऑर्डिनेट किया. दिस इज सच अ प्लेजर फॉर अस एंड यू कैन I mean, forgive us our trespasses, as they
Oh,
say.
please, I mean, please, auntie, don't, for God's
If we have,
डोंट ऐसा
overreach
मत बोलिए
कहीं.
आंटी. इतना मजा आया क्योंकि पहली बात तो आप लखनऊ से हैं, पापा मम्मी, my
हाँ,
sentiments are just so I can't express it in words. Words aren't adequate. The love and
yeah,
regard and
I have
respect I have for you
I
both.
have I have great memories of both your father. Interacting with him when I reached his home. I mean, दवाइयों की बात करो तो इधर उधर की भी होती है. And your mother for other reasons. So
और
great affection for them.
बहुत बहुत
Physically
yeah.
physically भी थोड़ा हम लोग भी थोड़ा सा
It's
become home
limiting,
buddies.
auntie. Age के साथ we
Limited.
realize that, things change, but it's okay. That what matters is the heart. The connection is there, and that's
True.
where Shri Mataji resides, and that's all that matters, isn't it?
Yeah.
वरना
True.
कहाँ कहाँ हम लोग हैं, but still we are so close. Thanks to Shri
Yeah.
Mataji.
Thank
बहुत
you.
बहुत
And
शुक्रिया, auntie and
Thank
give our
uncle.
regards
बहुत
to
बहुत शुक्रिया.
Shankar ji also, and tell him
Yes.
that we look forward to going to Banaras with Bholenath.
अरे वाह. I bet उनको तो बहुत मजा आएगा ये सुन के. हम जरूर उनको बताएंगे उनकी तरफ से
बताइएगा.
और हम सब की तरफ से और
जय
लखनऊ
श्री माता.
सब परिवार से. जय श्री माता जी
जय
अंकल.
जय
जय
Thank
श्री
श्री
you.
माता
राम।
जी
जय
आंटी.
श्री
Thank you
जय
so
श्री माता.
much.
Thank
Thank you
you.
Shri Mataji again and
Thank
again.
you.